Hey everybody, this is Eli Harper here, doing my first review video. We're going to do it on the Steelseries Rival 710 gaming mouse. I picked this up a couple of weeks ago at Best Buy. I don't think it's actually been officially released yet. It is not even on Steelseries website, but I find that Best Buy tends to put mice on shelves that haven't been released yet. I've seen this happen with the Razer Basilisk and the Razer Naga Trinity. So I decided to go ahead and pick this up and see how I liked it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I've seen one other review video of this mouse, which has actually led to my review. I feel like it didn't really give the mouse a whole chance. Now, with that being said, there are a lot of things going on with this mouse that can be viewed as pointless or, a sell gimmick, and I can completely understand that, but it also has some features that I really like. So physically, it's pretty much the same as the 700. Everything's still modular on it. You can still remove the back, remove the top here, replace it with a different texture or color off of their website. That's assuming that the parts for the 700 will fit the 710, because like I said, the 710 is not on their website yet. Still has the tactical feedback, which I have to agree with most people could probably be considered pointless. No games that I play on a regular basis support it. We still have the OLED screen up here in the front. Same thing. I can understand why that's viewed as just a gimmick and can be pointless. If you're like me, though, I'm like creating things like making little pictures. I've enjoyed having it, just putting little pictures on there, and we'll get to those more in a minute. But as far as actually using it while gaming or something like that, I would never look at my mouse while I'm gaming, so I have to agree with majority of people that it's kind of pointless. Sensor is still removable. Comes with a really good optical sensor, though. It has the true tracking and everything. It's been very accurate for me. I don't see the point in ever switching it to a laser sensor. So what caught my attention with this mouse from the get-go was actually that its cable is removable. So before this, I was using a SteelSeries 310, which is a fabulous mouse. I still really love the mouse. However, I am very big on cable management. All of my cables stay ran, hidden, zip tied, and I like them to stay that way. So if I was going over to a friend's house to game or a LAN party or whatever, I either needed a second mouse or I would have to completely unplug and undo my cable management on my other mouse. To some people that might not be a big deal. To me it was. So I really liked how this mouse could come unplugged, and that was actually the main reason I purchased it. Um, so it comes with two plugs. We have a braided one, which is what I currently have ran and managed at my desk right now. It's 2 meters long, really good cable. And then we have a rubber cable that's also included with it, and it's 1 meter long, and it's the one that I typically use if I'm going to game somewhere else, or sometimes I might bring this mouse to work and use it there on my laptop, so I like having this cable. It is a little bit different from most USB cables, as you can see here. The actual plug for the micro USB is 90'd on the end and points up, and that seems odd, and well, it is a little odd, but it's not too bad. So you position it, line everything up to plug it into the mouse, and you'll hear it click once it's plugged in all the way. Now, one of the things that bothered me about the only on the review video that I've seen of this is the person plugged it in for the first time. In my opinion, this plug was not seated all the way, which actually happened to me the first time I plugged it in, and it creates friction in the front. And I actually have a little bit from it right now after just kind of pulling this down a little bit. However, whenever you plug it in, if you really make sure that's seated all the way, I just actually felt mine move a little bit, it will seat lower than the feet, and you get no friction from it, and it moves without issue. So I have not had an issue with that at all, with the exception of the first time that I plugged it in. But like I said, closer inspection, was able to kind of move this around. You kind of have to manhandle it there to get it plugged in all the way, but once it's there, it's no problem at all and completely smooth. Unplugging it, you just take this little tab, push it down, this will push out, got to kind of wiggle it a little bit, and it will come unplugged. Really not too difficult, and that is that. So I'm going to go ahead and plug it into the plug that I have plugged into my computer, and we will continue on. Alright, so got it plugged in. As you can see, it's lit up, of course, RGB. Haven't seen a mouse lately that doesn't have it. Got the OLED screen on the side I was telling you about. Not sure how well you can see that there, but kind of a Pokemon nerd over here. Got Ash and Pikachu on there. Like I said, I like to create, so I enjoyed making a little image for that. But overall, the mouse moves very well. I have had no problems gaming with it, photo editing, whatever. Works really well. I will say though, if you don't need the extra features, like it being unplugged or having onboard memory, which is something else that I didn't even know it had, but really sold me to the mouse after I got it. So you can store, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm going to double check here, I believe it's up to 5 profiles on the actual mouse. 4 profiles, 5 if you include the default. So those profiles get stored onto the onboard memory. And like I said, I like to use this mouse with my laptop every now and then. Well, I would prefer not to have to put Steelseries software on my laptop. I use it strictly for work, and the less I have on it, the better. Something I find really cool about this mouse, and the only real, in my opinion, useful part of the OLED screen on it, is that you can take the button here that would normally change your DPI setting depending on your profile. You hold it down, and it will actually access a menu in this OLED screen. From there, you can change the profile of the mouse, even if you're plugged into a computer that does not have the Steelseries software on it. You can also, of course, change different settings in the mouse, whether it shows your DPI setting on the screen, you know, the contrast of the OLED screen, stuff like that. So I have found that very useful, especially whenever I'm plugged into my laptop, because, and you know, you might not always need to change profiles. You might be a person that sets one profile and never fools with it again, but for me, I like to be able to change it up, change the color, whatever, so I like being able to have that feature. But I will say, with those, the removable cable, the onboard memory, being able to access the profiles from the screen, that is what kind of sold me on this mouse. If that is stuff that you do not need, and I could see where a lot of people would not need that, I would recommend the 310 over this mouse. The 310, in my opinion, has a better shape to it, better feel. Of course, it's lighter. That makes it a little bit easier to use. I have gotten used to the weight of the 710. It is a very heavy mouse. Also, the sides of the 710 are more of a plastic, where the sides of the 310 is like a silicone rubber. Having that switch bothered me at first. However, I have completely gotten used to it. It does not bother me at all now. The only other thing that I think I have seen mentioned before about the 700 that did bother me of this mouse is the back of the 310 is almost completely rounded. It's at the very bottom here. It kind of goes back in, but for the most part, it's very rounded back here. The 710, with everything on it being modular, it has this flat spot, and that makes this corner right here want to rest on your palm. Whenever I first got this mouse, that bothered me so much I thought about returning it. After a few days of use though, I don't hardly even notice it's there. I feel like my grip has changed a little bit versus how I would have held the 310. But the 10, definitely a great mouse. And if you do not travel, if you don't need to unplug yours often, if you don't care about having onboard memory, definitely if you like a lighter mouse, I would recommend the 310. But if you can actually use the extra features that this mouse has, I highly recommend it. I've been very pleased with it, and it'll definitely be my everyday mouse. So thanks for watching, guys. Please leave me a comment. Let me know what y'all think. Like I said, this is my first review video, so really green here. By all means, let me know if there's something I need to improve on, something you wish I would have talked more about. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see y'all next time.